The interactions between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi post their duel in A New Hope are very scarce in Star Wars canon and legends. In canon, there's only one moment where Vader hears the voice of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn, and that is when he enters an abandoned Jedi temple that is strong in the light side of the Force. He hears the voice of Qui-Gon Jinn echoing through the halls of the old temple, telling him that he is the chosen one and that he is destined to bring balance to the Force. But what is left unclear in this canon comic is whether or not these are echoes of the past that Vader is hearing, or whether or not Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn are reaching out to him directly through the netherworld of the Force. Unfortunately, there is not a conversation between the two of them, and although at first Vader attempts to strike down the voice in whatever direction he believes it's coming from, they don't actually interact with one another, leading many to believe that this was in fact a vision or echoes of the past that Vader was experiencing, and not a direct interaction. So that led me to look into Star Wars Legends lore, and I actually did find a single clear interaction between Obi-Wan Kenobi's ghost and Darth Vader. Not just a moment where Vader heard an echo of the past or something that his master had told him, but rather a clear-cut conversation, one where Kenobi actively mocks Darth Vader, and Vader is filled with intense rage, a sort of rage that only Obi-Wan could impart upon him. So greetings, acolytes of the Force, and welcome back to the channel. And today, we will be looking into the Star Wars 2013 Dark Horse comic run, and if you'd like to read this for yourselves, this specifically occurs in issue number 13. Before we speak of directly what Kenobi had to say to Vader, we have to speak on Vader's mindset. His loyalty to the Empire, but more importantly, his power has been brought into direct question by Palpatine as well as members of the Empire themselves, who questioned Lord Vader after he failed to protect the Death Star. Someone with this magnitude, who the Emperor had promised would rule alongside him, to have made such a massive blunder has not gone unnoticed, and initially as punishment, Palpatine has ordered Vader to look after the construction of the second Death Star, a literal errand dog rather than a true apprentice. To make matters worse, a rebel has actually infiltrated high ranks among the Empire and has been wreaking havoc, and Vader has now considered it his personal mission over these last few issues to directly execute any of the high-ranking Imperials that allowed the rebel to infiltrate so high and cause so much damage. To Vader, he's coming upon a realization: the Empire is utterly ill-prepared. They have been in power for far too long, and because of that, they have been weakened. The rebels have been able to slip through the cracks, and not only this, but Vader is having to do a lot of self-reflection. He's wondering if he himself has become weakened by being in power for too long, something that the Emperor outright confirms and voices his opinions on Vader. Vader is far from the individual that Palpatine wanted, and in a rare case, there is not a passive-aggressive relationship between Vader and his master, simply an aggressive one. Darth Vader's worth is being directly called into question, and not only is he obsessed with finding the boy Skywalker that Kenobi was with, but who he is and his power has been brought into question. Everything Vader believed that he knew is also into question as well, but his current task is to prove his worth to his master, while within the shadows, attempting to secure the location and identity of this other Skywalker. While in his ship, all by himself, Darth Vader is meditating on the dark side, looking out the window, when he hears a voice, one that he instantly recognizes. The voice says this: "It will all be for naught, Darth." The voice calls him Darth to insult him, a dismissal of who he is. He is nothing but a servant of the dark side now. The voice is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Vader knows it. The voice continues: "You will never truly satisfy your master Palpatine." Vader finally speaks: "Obi-Wan, I killed you." The voice responds: "Do not be so sure. The path of the Jedi warns against thinking in absolutes. You may have cut my body down, but remember what I told you." Vader echoes his last words back: "I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine." Kenobi continues: "That frightens you, doesn't it?" Vader, enraged: "I am 10 times the Jedi you were, Obi-Wan. Your parlor tricks do not impress me." Kenobi continues to mock him: "I do not come to you unbidden. Your feelings betray you." Anakin. Vader ignites his weapon: "Do not say that name." lightsaber held at the ready to strike at utter nothingness. Skywalker is dead. Vader swings his lightsaber with savagery, with malice and accuracy, a vile hatred towards absolutely nothing. Kenobi continues. Do you really think? Vader shouts, no. Kenobi, though, finishes this statement. There is not another? And the voice leaves him to question the identity of another Skywalker, or perhaps to insinuate something even more profound. The truth of the matter is that Anakin is still alive, somewhere buried deep within Lord Vader, and that Anakin is the one that bid for Kenobi to find Vader, some small part of Anakin screaming for his master to help, behind the rage that is Darth Vader, the fiery dragon that Anakin created. We then find Lord Vader in deep meditation. He is going back to the Death Star, but now things are different. The final confrontation with his master awaits, but they speak to one another as if they know exactly what has occurred. Kenobi asks Vader if he is troubled. Vader, concerned with shaking off the vision, and Kenobi entirely ensures the Jedi Master that his victory was absolute, that the student had surpassed the Master fully, and that his death ensured that by striking down Kenobi, Vader had finally won and was now the Master. Vader continues through the vision, but Kenobi asks him, why am I here then? Why is Vader thinking back to Kenobi? If Obi-Wan has been utterly defeated by the Dark Lord, then why is he still around? Why is he still able to penetrate his mind? But the Sith imparts upon Obi-Wan that he is not here for the aged Jedi. He is here for the boy that called out to him. Vader is obsessed with why in his dying moment, Obi-Wan Kenobi would relinquish his guard to protect this boy. Vader needs to know who he is. As the vision continues, Luke, Han, and Leia flee, but Kenobi is not struck down. Vader pursues Luke, but he is too late. Instead, he turns. Kenobi is still standing there. Vader proclaims that there is no Anakin Skywalker left, but Kenobi says that deep down he can feel something, that Anakin is still there. Vader cuts him off, telling the apparition that now he has a name, Luke. Kenobi warns him, though, that his emotions will get the better of him if he is not careful, that if a part of Anakin can reach out to Obi-Wan subconsciously, maybe this Luke can as well, as Kenobi says that the boy has already defeated him once. Vader, though, is ready for the viper-like response of Kenobi, telling him that Obi-Wan too defeated him once as well, but that will never happen again, and that in the end, it was Vader who defeated Kenobi. It was Vader who was the master. And then the vision abruptly comes to an end. But that is how the ghost of Obi-Wan Kenobi directly communed with Lord Vader sometime after the destruction of the first Death Star, as well as how Vader was plagued with a vision or a dream of the old master, the two of them verbally sparring with one another about the very fate of Vader's soul. Vader promises Obi-Wan that Anakin Skywalker is truly dead, that there is no part of Anakin that remains, no good, no light in the Dark Lord. But Kenobi assures him that Anakin is still around and that he can feel it, tells him that perhaps his victory is not absolute. With our breakdown of the events concluded, I do want to mention that this comic is somewhat perplexing to me. In The Empire Strikes Back, it is very clear that Obi-Wan Kenobi believes that Anakin is dead, and that the boy that he trained is gone. This is the whole arc of Luke. The two aged Jedi and Yoda and Kenobi tell him that there is no Anakin Skywalker left, and that the being that is Darth Vader is all that remains. But it is Luke that goes beyond the Jedi's teachings and seeks to redeem his father out of pure love. But here, it seems as if Kenobi is questioning if Anakin is here at all as well, and it appears as if through the nether realm of the Force, Kenobi too can sense Skywalker. So with that said, I would love to hear your interpretation of these events, and how Kenobi seems to have a different opinion in Empire Strikes Back. But as always, my friends, thank you so much for visiting the channel and the archives today, and may the Force be with you always.